are just moving in the positive territory. Hinduja Global, pure play business process outsourcing company, revealed its numbers just a short while ago. Let's bring in the management to talk about the performance. Partha Sarkar, Global CEO, is with us on the phone from Hong Kong. Mr. Sarkar, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Can you run us through the performance and to what should we attribute this 14% Q-on-Q growth in profitability?
Firstly, it's a pleasure to talk to you. And what I needed to tell you about the performance was that we have in the past two years invested strongly in growth, that is sales engine. And that's actually paying off right now. So what's happening is the organic sales has been at its all-time high. And it's filling up whatever ID capacity that we have built across our global network. And that's driven the volume growth, and it's converted itself into margin expansion as well, because it's also shedding out our SG&A better. So that's what we're seeing in terms of 38% sales growth year-on-year and margin expansion as well. So strong organic growth, a good demand for offshore, and also what we've seen helped by is the strengthening of the US dollar. So these three factors would be the main reasons that I would say our margins at its stage today.
As a matter of fact, that was going to be my next question, predominantly on the impact of the rupee depreciation. How would you quantify it in terms of its effect on margins and on various other factors here? And also if you can add a little bit color on what are your total hedge positions at this point of time?
Okay, so far as margins are concerned, I would say if you were to break the 16% between what's organic, purely organic, and what's coming because of foreign exchange, I would split it into 6 and 10. 10 coming from the fact that we had good organic growth, and 6 coming from the fact that we had a fairly decent favorable exchange rate working for us. But I would also like to mention that if you look at the 2 quarters, June quarter had a better impact of exchange rate because the rupee was at its all-time low at that point of time as of 30th of June. It's recovered a bit as of 30th of September. So the impact of foreign exchange was actually more in the previous quarter than in this quarter.
Right. Can you talk about what kind of clients are we looking at in terms of additions in coming quarters? I believe you added about 3 new clients in the US in the consumer vertical. How many more do we see coming in subsequent quarters?
So I would think that we will end up here with about 10-12 new clients. And most of our revenues, about 18% of our revenues come from the TNT sector, which is technology, media, telecom, and then healthcare, and then consumer. So it's a good spread. Our client additions also happen more or less uniformly across these 3 verticals. And apart from these verticals, we are also trying to grow the financial services sector. And that also we think would be a significant contributor to our future growth.
Is it safe to assume that the worst is behind for both US and Europe, and now we are beginning to see a new traction and perhaps better traction on new client deals?
Yeah, I would say that North America has firmly moved ahead, and the demand from North America is actually very strong. I would put UK and Europe lagging behind a bit, because I think there is the signs of recovery are still, I would say, kind of nascent. Because UK and Europe contribute a smaller percentage to our revenues, we are not impacted by the fact that Europe's gone a little slow. But UK, US and Canada, which is North America in totality, has done very well, and that's been the tailwinds that pushing our top line numbers ahead.
And when you talk to clients, are they pushing in for some pricing negotiations so that they can also take advantage of the rupee depreciation?
Well, most of our client contracts are long-term contracts. We don't have project-based contracts, which is different from us as opposed to IT companies. So ours are long-term contracts with price adjustments built in terms of cost of living adjustments and all of that. So if you look at inflation rate in India, CPI is at about 9-10%. So whatever is happening to the rupee, we eroded away by the fact that inflation is pretty high in both India and Philippines, right? So the client's not necessarily coming to us saying that, okay, now the rupee is at this level, therefore we need to negotiate prices. These are actually a contract with visibility on what situations pricing negotiations will happen.
Right. So just one final question before I let you go. Any acquisition opportunities on the anvil? Are you looking at any acquisition overseas just to make sure that the ramp up happens quickly?
Yeah, so our last acquisition was done in October of last year. That was the revenue service business that we acquired from Deloitte. That is fully integrated, doing very well, and acquisition has been part of our history and our DNA. We've acquired many companies in the past, and we continue to look at targets. I won't be able to comment on any specific targets that we're working on right now because that's against listing agreement. So acquisition, yes, we look at on ongoing basis. Is there something that's going to happen right now? In the next 2 quarters, we don't have visibility there. I'm not going to be able to comment on.
Right, Mr. Sarkar, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. That's the management of Hinduja Global talking about the performance as far as Q2 is concerned. Well, coming back to the markets, no change. We're close to the lowest point of the day, and Bianca, the biggest concern for me right now is the rupee. It's down to the day's low.
Absolutely, and just over the last 3 or 4 minutes, it's gone. It's depreciated quite sharply. 63.60 back again, pretty much around the day's lowest level. Keep an eye on that, and as well the markets. With that, we're wrapping up this edition.